The countdown continues, just 11 days away from the start of the Olympics. And as we approach the Milan Cortina Winter Games, many of us are really getting into the Olympic spirit.
Yeah, this morning we take you to a town full of former Olympians, future Olympians, and Olympic history. It's a place where miracles were made and that Olympic flame still burns brightly. Lake Placid. Nestled between the pines and the peaks of the Adirondacks is a quaint little village.
You definitely feel the Olympic spirit.
Year-round population about 2,200, but they roll out the welcome mat to more than 3 million visitors a year. It's a place where history and competition are the main attractions.
I mean, it's kind of electric, just, having that feeling of being in an Olympic town with the Olympics coming up.
I'm talking, of course, about the site of the 1932 and 1980 Winter Olympics, Lake Placid, New York.
A traveler can come and they can take the gondola to the top of Whiteface, or they can go to the top of the ski jumps. They can do the rock climbing out at Mount Van Hovenberg or bobsled ride. So they really get to submerge themselves in the venues themselves, as well as watching these international athletes who are headed to the Olympics.
Athletes like Johnny Gustafson, who represented the U.S. at the 2022 Beijing Games and who had just won the International Luge Federation's Nations Cup in Lake Placid when we interviewed him. His love affair with Lake Placid started years ago.
I used to play hockey as well, so coming here with the Miracle on Ice always in the back of your mind, it's fun.
And that Olympic flame is only fanned because of the continued investment in keeping these facilities viable sites of world-class competition.
So starting in November, we were hosting figure skaters with Skate America. This weekend is lugers for World Cup Luge. In a couple of weeks, we'll have bobsledders here for North America Cup, and then we'll have World Cup aerials. And those are all athletes that are looking to go to the Olympic Games.
It keeps us on the international stage, so we're always out there, being recognized as an international destination for high-level competition. It also keeps Lake Placid and the Adirondacks in the eyes of the travelers.
And the future and former Olympians who call this region home also see the excitement grow during times of the Games. Karen Cortland Kelly was born in New Jersey, competed in the 1994 Winter Olympics, and these days she wraps herself in that Olympic spirit, living and teaching skating here.
You get to inspire everyone who comes. I mean, I think that's the most special thing to me about living in Lake Placid, whether you're meeting a youngster who's never skated, and I have the honor of taking them on the ice for the first time. You had the honor of representing the United States at the Olympic Games, and then you have a duty to, carry that on.
And for the athletes who grew up in this environment, the Olympic dream was always tangible. Lake Placid has sent at least one competitor to every Winter Olympics since they started in 1924, like alpine racer and two-time Olympic medalist Andrew Weibrecht.
When you have that number of people that have locally done it and you grow up around that environment, you're like, well, yeah, this guy is totally normal. If he can do it, then I can do it. And I think it really gets in, and it's a self-perpetuating type of thing where kids see that and they look at it and say, yeah, of course this is attainable. This is just what people from my town do.
And you can tour all of that pride and history in the newly renovated Olympic Museum, celebrating the firsts that happened here, like the first indoor Olympic hockey game and the first time a podium was ever used in the Games. And also remember the greats that brought the magic to these mountains.
I hope people understand Lake Placid's Olympic legacy and the story that has happened here and how it's continuing to happen.
All right.